Hey, everybody. Hi, it's Shannon with Shannon on Demand. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, and we are here live with you all. How's everybody doing? How was your day today? Why don't you drop me a little something in the chat to let me know how your day was? Hi, Mrs. Linda Lou. How are you? First one to join. Kim Marie Photography, the best photographer in Louisiana, by the way. Y'all need to check her out. Give her a holler. Hit her up. How's everybody doing? It is so good to be with you all this evening. I hope that you all had a great day today. Somebody had to go to the dentist today. I am so sorry, but better you than me. Oh my goodness. I even had someone tell me today that they were going to join us on the IG Live, only to be told later on that they're watching the Michael Jackson movie. So I got to take a back seat to Mike, but that's okay. That's all right. That is all right. Today, y'all, we're going to jump right into it, not to belabor anything tonight. But we are going to continue our series talking to our high-level, high-achieving women, helping them to know their purpose, helping them to get aligned. And tonight, we are going to be talking about the hidden cost of staying in a job that you know you've outgrown, right? You know you've outgrown it. So, first thing that I want to do is I want to ask you guys a question. I really want to ask you something, and I want to just let you guys just take a minute just to think about it and to sit with it, okay? So, what is the reason, the real reason that you feel stuck right now? I honestly don't think that it's because you don't know what to do. I think that it's because you've just gotten comfortable. You've really gotten comfortable paying the cost of staying. So it's not that you're comfortable like it feels good being comfortable. I think that you've gotten comfortable because you've just learned how to tolerate the position that you're in. You've learned how to tolerate where you are and what you've become accustomed to. Because remember, every single day that you stay in a place that you've outgrown, you're paying for it. And tonight, we're going to break down exactly what that cost is, right? So most people are really focused on this question. What will it cost me to leave my job? That's the $1 million question. What is it going to cost me to leave my job? But then you get high level thinking that ask a different question. What is it costing me to stay exactly where I am? Because staying isn't neutral. Staying is a decision. And every decision that you make has a cost attached to it. So this is what it actually looks like. All right, so you go to work. You sit down at work and your mind is everywhere. You're overthinking simple decisions. You're feeling mentally exhausted and you haven't even done anything yet. Why? I'll tell you. Because internally you're conflicted. Part of you is saying, stay safe. And then the other part of you is saying, there's more. And that is just causing internal tension. That's where your clarity is being drained because you don't know what to listen to. Are you going to stay safe or are you going to listen to, well, I know that there's more, right? But just remember that clarity doesn't disappear. You're clear on what's happening. It's just that it's drowned out by the misalignment. And that there was a point in your life where you felt decisive. You used to feel really, really confident, and then now you're questioning everything. And it's not because you've lost who you are, but it's because you're ignoring what you know. And every time you override that inner knowing, you weaken your trust within yourself. You're no longer trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, you will never move, no matter how clear the opportunity is. So, let me just say something that might just hit just a little harder. It's not just that you're waiting. While you're waiting to make a decision, you're delaying the version of you that already exists. Let me say that again as I clutch my pearls. While you're waiting, you're delaying the version of you that already exists. So what version is that? That's my business owners. Those are my leaders. That's the next level version of you, right? And she's not in your future. She's on the other side of this decision that you need to make. On the other side of the decision lies you. And every time you delay, you're extending the distance between who you are and who you already know you're supposed to become. So let's make this practical, okay? Right now, you likely have at work a salary ceiling. You probably capped out. You can't make more than a certain amount. They're never going to pay you what you're worth anyway. But anyway, you have a salary ceiling. You have limited to no control. And then you have predictable increases. You know when you're going to get that raise, and you probably know how much, but 3% if you're lucky, right? But the thing you keep putting off, that's where your scalability is. That's where your expansion is. So while you think you're playing it safe, you're actually choosing predictable limitations. So how safe are you playing it, right? And over time, that adds up to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in missed opportunity. So this is the one that most people don't realize, that every time you stay in a place that you know you've outgrown, you're telling yourself, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I accept. Again, every time you stay in a place that you know you've outgrown, you're telling yourself that this is who I am, not who God says I am, but this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I accept, even when deep down you know that you're not aligned with that anymore. And identity will always drive behavior. So if you don't shift how you see yourself, you will keep repeating the same decisions. And this is why nothing ever changes. Remember, we all want change, but then we don't want to change. How does that work? So let me ask you this. How much longer are you willing to keep paying the cost? Another month? Another year? Because eventually the cost of staying becomes greater than the fear of leaving, right? And faith and fear is like oil and water. The two don't mix. It was never meant to mix, right? the cost of staying becomes greater than the fear of leaving. And this is exactly where most women get stuck. And it's not because that they're not capable. It's because they don't have a structured way to move. They're stuck between fear and logic, comfort and calling, stability and expansion. So without a strategy, they stay in a loop. And it's a constant circle. It's a constant loop. Never getting anywhere. Just staying where you're staying, complaining in the meantime, but staying where you're staying. It's a constant loop, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And, you know, I hear it all the time. And this is one of the reasons why I do what I do. It's the reason why I try to help you gain clarity with capacity. But you have to have a real plan behind it, because you can't just quit your job. And again, it's not about quitting your job. It is about becoming that person that God has you to, that He has in store for you, who you were meant to be, right? And you're never going to know exactly who that is until you step out of the way and become. Does it feel good all the time? No. I never promised you that it would. However, if you're planning to get to that next level, it's something that has to happen. We're going to play a little quick game. I want to see something real quick. All right. I want you guys to put these numbers in the chat if it applies to you, okay? If you had to really pay attention to what you're paying the most right now for staying, would it be number 1, mental? Number 2, emotional? Number 3, time? Number 4, financial? Or number 5, your identity? What are you paying the most? What is it costing you the most by staying where you are? Is it 1, just put the numbers, 1, mental, 2, emotional, 3, time, 4, financial, 5, your identity? So just drop the number in the chat and we'll see. But finally, I just want you to know that you're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because you haven't fully acknowledged what staying is actually costing you. And then once you do, you're going to stop negotiating with your next level. You really are. Once you acknowledge that, once you see the cost clearly, the real question then becomes, what do I actually do next? Because awareness is a powerful thing. But awareness without a plan, it keeps you in the same place. All right, I'm seeing some 3s. Time. 4, financial. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys for your honesty. So you just have to know where you are, right? You have to know where you are. One thing that I do know, and I know for sure, is that it's not additional motivation that you need. You need clarity, you need some structure, and you need a plan that you can actually follow. Okay? So what I want you guys to do is to just kind of think on those things. I need you to pray on those things. I don't want you to live in confusion, because confusion, I'm telling you, it gets to a point that the more expensive it becomes, the less likely you are. And when I say more expensive, meaning the more time that it takes you to make the decision, that's the more expensive that it becomes. It really does. Not being able to make a decision, right? I think that we've got a request. Let's see if we can do this. Let me see if that's going to work. It's all about Poochie. Hey,
Hi. I'm trying to
how
get
are
out of there.
you?
I don't know what I managed.
How you doing?
Oh, okay. I don't know what I managed.
So thank you for wanting to come on live. How's it going, my sister?
It's going good. It's going.
I miss you.
I missed you too.
Yeah. So what you thinking about what you heard so far?
It just puts just some things into perspective. Just listening, just taking it all in.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is it's just a thing where you just have to be able to know your purpose, and to know what God has for you. And when you are wanting to be of service to other people, unfortunately, it doesn't always have to come in the form of business and entrepreneurship. But
Mhm.
usually, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what it is. And it's not all about making up the money, but being in alignment with where you know you're supposed to be. And so
Right.
often I hear, I'm so afraid to leave. I don't know how to leave. I don't want to lose my money. It's a whole, it's just excuse after excuse after excuse. When there are methods and then there are strategies that can be put in place that can help you to make that transition safely, securely, strategically, having a plan in place that actually works, but at the same time, being able to do that inner transformation, because it has to start there first. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I'm telling you what I know from experience. It is not going to work if you don't transform you first. So, with all of that being said, we've got some things coming up. We've got a webinar that we're going to be introducing really, really soon. It's called the Next Move Breakthrough. We're just trying to kind of get some things warmed up, but that's exactly what this webinar is going to be designed to do, to help you make that transformation from the inside out, so that your identity is going to definitely be reflected in your behavior and how you move forward. So how does that sound to you?
Good, good.
Yeah, we're gonna the training that we're gonna be doing is gonna walk you through exactly how to know, if it's actually time for you to move, how to get clear on what your real next move should be, because it's gonna be different for each person. But most importantly, we want people to be able to make that move strategically and not just acting on emotion, because your next move, it shouldn't cost you more than what it's costing you by staying. Right?
Right.
Right. Where you on your way to?
Church.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known. Well, thank you so much for coming on live with me, honey. I do appreciate the support, and I love you so much.
I love you too.
You
Have a
tell my
good
boy
evening.
I said, hey.
I will.
All right then. All right. Do we have any more questions? Do we have anyone needing a little bit more clarity on anything? Which part do you need me to repeat? What am I repeating? You want me to repeat those numbers so that you'll know what number that you're going to put in the chat? Is that what I'm repeating? Yes, no? In case that is, the numbers are that we were wanting you to put the number of what it is that you're paying the most right now for staying where you are. And it was number one, if it's mental; number two, if it's emotional; number three, if it's time; number four, if it's financial; or number five, if it's your identity. If you can just drop the number in the chat, This is something that is really, really near and dear to me because I have been teaching entrepreneurship and business ownership for so long. And it's a little disheartening when you see people either too afraid to move, don't know how to move, but at the same time knowing that they should. And that is a rough spot to be in. It really is. If you don't have clarity, if you don't have direction, and if you don't have some kind of strategy to make that next move. And that's what we're trying to not have happen. Okay. All right, then, guys, we are going to call it a night. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. We're going to have the replay. It's probably going to be on my YouTube channel. So if you missed anything, we're going to have that up. If not tomorrow, I believe the next day. But it is something that you can watch over and over and over again. And I hope that I left some nuggets for you all so that you can move forward with some clarity. All right. So again, I thank you guys for joining. This is Shannon with Shannon on Demand, and we want your next move to be the best plan that you make. Okay. So thanks. Love you all.